You know, they always talk about how as, you know, you get older, like things just hurt and you just don't know why. And it was almost like the timing of turning 30, suddenly I like got up off the couch one day and like pulled my back, and I had no idea. I've never hurt my back before in this way, and for about 3 days I couldn't bend down, and like a lot of my friends were like, welcome to 30, well done. Hi, I'm Nathalie Emmanuel, and this is my Women's Health body scan. My hair type, I have like a 3C hair type. How do I go about looking after it? This is like a full-time job. I call my wash day arm day. Wash day is like legitimately arm day. The next day your arms are just like, ugh. I have a routine that I do every week. I tend to wash my hair once a week, and I deep condition it once a week and detangle it by hand once a week, because combs and things like that can tend to break the hair, and I have very brittle hair. Moisture is key. Oiling my scalp is essential, which I do maybe a couple times a week. I use things like castor oil or rosemary oil with in another oil like argan oil or something. I love a nice deep conditioner that I will put on in the bath and let it sit. And then finding a really good leave-in conditioner and just making sure that your hair stays moisturized. And throughout the week, you might feel that your hair is kind of doing something unusual. And so I kind of tend to, if it feels dry, like I just add moisture. And sometimes I can tell whether my hair needs more product by just how my scalp feels. So you don't want to build up of product, so you need to like kind of just monitor how your scalp feels and how dry your hair is. So I kind of, yeah, that's kind of how I look after it. And I sleep in a bonnet, which is really stylish, so that I don't break my hair in my sleep, because I kind of flop all over the place when I sleep. So my septum piercing, I can't remember how old I was. I've had it quite a while now. I've probably had it for about 8 or 9 years now, I think. And I just always thought it was really beautiful. And I always really liked it. And I was a bit nervous to do it. And then, to be honest, I didn't have the best experience, because I went and got it pierced, and I don't know whether I was just unlucky or the piercer didn't quite pierce the right spot, but it started to reject, and I had to take it out. Like, it didn't go well, like the healing or anything. And so I had to take it out, and then I was really nervous to get it done again. And then one morning, about 8 months later, I was walking down Camden High Street. I just had like breakfast with 2 of my friends, and I just saw this piercing place, and I walked in and I said, do you want to pierce my septum? And the lady was like, yeah, okay. Come back in half an hour. And I was expecting this really awful, like painful thing, and it really wasn't. And I loved it. And I was like, this is great. I have a little like mandala on my foot. I think mandalas are really beautiful, and you know, I have such a love of yoga, and I really wanted to kind of commemorate something to do with that on my body. And I have it so it's sort of fading on one side. Mandalas kind of represent this kind of perfect symmetry, and there's all these variations of them, and I think that the kind of morphing of our realities that change all the time, and things might not seem perfect or complete, but really everything is in a way like by design. Everything's kind of meant to happen. And so I sort of like that idea. But I would love to get a tiny little butterfly just on my arm here, just on the back of my arm, just to commemorate Masande being from the Isle of Butterflies. She was such a huge part of my life for many years, so it feels kind of like perfect. And I really do just love what butterflies represent, this idea of kind of evolving and becoming something else and reaching your full potential. I have a naturally thick brow, and honestly, if I left them alone, I would have one eyebrow. I tidy along here and I pluck out the middle, and then I sort of trim them, because when I leave them, they go curly on the end. It's like my hair just won't quit. It's like we're just gonna curl everywhere as much as possible. So I have to like trim them and pluck them a bit. And when I was 14 or 15, I like begged my mum, I was like, please let me pluck them. And she was like, no, 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 we'll go to someone professional. And she took me to this like spa at this gym she used to belong to. And they literally butchered my eyebrows. My eyebrows like started here. I had like this whole middle bit was missing. And for years, I just had this kind of patchy eyebrow situation. Then I got obsessed with threading and they were super thin. And now I'm just like, let them be. Like, let them be the glorious, thick, bushy eyebrows they are now. I've just embraced them. There are different parts of my body that I have had issue with, and that's changed over the years. But I always was really self-conscious of like my legs and thighs and like wearing anything short or wearing skirts. Like I still, even now, have to kind of be in a certain frame of mind or a certain mood to wear that kind of thing. To be honest, like as I've got older and I've like learned to love my body and myself and just be grateful to have the body that I have, now what concerns me more than anything than like how a part of my body looks, I don't really kind of fixate on that so much. It's more how people interact with me. You know, it's like, unfortunately, like any woman walking through the world in a short skirt or a low cut top, like people just interact with you differently. And if you're just trying to go about your life and get to work or get to the supermarket and you're just trying to live your life and not pay any mind to anybody else, like suddenly you're just on the receiving end of attention that you don't necessarily want or have welcomed. And so I'm more concerned with that element of it now. I'm just much more acutely aware of how, when I show certain parts of my body, how suddenly the world interacts with me. And you know, and I just want to be able to get on with my day. I mean, exercise is just so important to my mental health. You know, I've always tried to check in with myself ever since I kind of found yoga. I actually went to a yoga class because my mental health was deteriorating at the time, and I was about 18 or 19, and I was like, I need to find something that's for me. And so I just tried yoga, and it was just like a revelation. It wasn't like a cure or a fix or a quick fix or anything, but it was a revelation because I was being forced to connect with not just my body, but my mind and my heart, and just have a conversation for an hour and be like, how are you? What's going on? And to this day, if I'm starting to feel overwhelmed or anxious, you know how they say like just having a good cry is just like really, you know, it's just like a lovely release in some cases. And I definitely I'm like, oh, I need a good cry. I'm gonna go to yoga. And I'll sit in Shavasana at the end just like, and it's wonderful. And then I go home and get on with my day. I put a lot of time into skincare. I have quite volatile skin, you know. She's so like, you know, today I'm showing out, you're getting all the pimples, you know, oh, you had that thing to eat, did you? Okay, well, I'm gonna let you know about it. So that can be frustrating, but also just when it comes to skincare, I try and keep things as natural as possible. Cleansing and moisturizing is very important. Sunscreen on my face and neck and everything. Even if it's cloudy out, I always am making sure I'm protecting my skin. Thank you for watching Body Scan, and don't forget to subscribe to Women's Health.